Because that's the way it was, correct? Now, which is the way it is now? Now, our kids, they are not living in our century. They are living in this century. So now they have to negotiate their life in this century, not in the post-India independence era. Okay. So what are they going to do? Tell me, what can they do? What are they supposed to do? Forget what we should do. First, let us think what choices they have. What can they do? Should they marry somebody you pick from some village, somewhere in India? You know, I have a friend, I know somebody. So, not too long ago, a few years back. So, of course, they come from India, they grew up there, professionals come here, very well, very successful, this thing, that thing, everything. Kids are all grown up now, well educated, professionals, lawyer, son is a lawyer. So now time to get married, time for this to get married. So this, we want him to get married. So traditional, because we value tradition. He went to Pune Vidya class, all that is there, it's true, he went to Pune Vidya class, he studied tradition. So I think I would like them to get married to somebody from India. So now they have to find a bride for him. I'm sure you know hundreds of stories like this. So they go and find a bride from Bangalore, the Silicon Valley of it. So they found a bride there. And so this guy was also, very decent guy. So he said, okay, I'll go. So he said, how the system is there. So you have to meet a few people. And then you have to, figure out whatever clicks. So he said, okay. So, but, very sensitive guy. So he's thinking, now you will go there and then meet all these ladies and then, then I say, okay, but this one not okay. He didn't like that idea. So in his mind, he thought, so I'll go, then whoever is the first person I meet, I'll say okay. Because anyway it makes no difference, right? It makes no difference. I don't want to upset anybody. Very, very straight, dharmic thinking. So he did that. So he goes there and everything, right? So everything is all done. So now they're getting all prepped up for the wedding. So this our friends of mine, they meet the bride's, potential bride's parents. So the bride's mother tells him, I hope you are not going to expect her to wear Indian clothes. What? Please repeat yourself. My daughter only wears jeans and all. She doesn't wear Indian clothes. But aren't you in India, What can she say now? She said, okay. So then she comes in and says, Dhiraji, I thought I was getting married to somebody from India. It was all traditional and everything. And then this is what a mother tells me, they don't ask her to wear Indian clothes. So all I'm saying is, it's a different world. We have to be conscious of what world they are living in. Yeah. So I would say that you can't really impose anything. We have to be sensitive to that. And we have to be confident that we have taught them enough and we guide them enough so that they make proper judgment in life. There is no guarantee that who my child picks is going to be the right person, any more than who I pick is going to be the right person. Right? Yeah.
True.
How many parents regret the choices they made for their children? This is the truth I tell you. Talk to them. How many parents regret the choice they made for their children and got them married? It's not just that the children who complain. The parents also regret it their whole life. So you don't want to be that kind of a parent either, who regrets your decision. Let them regret their decision. They deal with it. You made your choice, you made your bed, you sleep in it. Lion. So that is my take on it. It's all a personal thing. But we have to have enough confidence when we raise our family, our children, that we give them the best that we can give them in terms of thinking, in terms of maturity, and then support them in their decisions. And if they make mistakes, then it's not the end of the world also. Then help them through their mistakes. That should be our attitude as parents. But not try to impose anything, because it doesn't work in the long run.
It just creates more problems.
It creates more problems. We've all seen that among our friends around us. I've seen tons of things like that. I can tell you stories which sound funny, but they're sad also. So what can we impose? We can only pray
We can only pray.
and do the best. But not be rigid about things. Yeah, this has to do with the kids' schedules, So nowadays, to communicate with kids, the question is, kids have their own schedule. They are busy. Now you want to sit down and communicate with your children. What can I do? Learn how to SMS. Really? You learn how to SMS, otherwise nobody hears anything. They don't answer the phone. You ask any of your friends who has children who are adults in their 20s or in their college or whatever. Ask them. What happens when you try to call your kids? First thing is they never pick up the phone. They never pick up the phone, even if they are right next to it. Yeah, that's not considered good etiquette. No, we have to understand the new culture now. The new culture is, according to the current etiquette, you don't answer your phone.
Period, that's it.
You don't answer your phone. You answer an SMS immediately.
Yes.
Did you SMS Narayana?
Yeah.
I think we should start SMSing Bhagwan also.
Now, I'm just telling you, I'm not talking about how to parent, okay? Yes, very practical, very practical solution.
Did you Google this?
So, leaving messages, phone call and all, you're not going to get any response. Okay. But these people, our new generation, they are into multitasking. So whether they are watching the TV, whether they are on their computers, whether they are talking to I saw this, it's interesting. So I was in New York. So I was on the terminal, ferry terminal, waiting for the ferry. So there is this young girl comes in. So it's obvious her this smartphone and going like that and sitting there. Then her friend comes, another young girl. She comes in. And so it's obvious they haven't met for a long time. So they met. It could have been half an hour ago, I don't know. But then it looked like that. It looked like they haven't met for a while. To me it looked like that. They must have just talked there a little bit before. So they meet, they come together. Oh, they're all screaming and all, they hug each other and everything. And then they sit down next to each other. Both are very happy. I'm observing them, but there's nothing else to do on the ferry terminal. So then this one, so she sits down, okay. As soon as they're talking now, they keep they're going very fast. Then as they're talking, she pulls out her phone. This one already has a phone. She didn't stop this. Let it stop. Between all the hugging and the talking, they still continue. This one pulls out her phone. Then she looks at it. You know what is the current?
Yeah.
The current. What do you call that? News break. The news break on the Facebook. So then she checks on this and then she gets into this and she's talking to her. And this is how they live. This is how they live. Now in this, you know, mom made a phone call. Darling, baby, where are you? What is she going to do? She's not going to talk to you. But you send her an SMS in the middle of all this. You'll get a reply. Right?
Yeah, within like 1 minute, you're getting the reply.
Before you finish your sentence, you get a reply. So, that is what we have to learn. We have no choice. I don't know what else to say.
It's a fact.
So it's a fact. The point is that it's not that they don't want to communicate. To communicate with anything, okay, any person, we have to learn their language of communication. Right? If I want to communicate effectively. So if that is the language of communication, we learn it. That's the new way to communicate. It has its own upside and downside, you know. So I take it that way and then learn. And if they do have some leisure, you know, so when there is a computer malfunction or a crash, then they will sit and talk to you. When the computer is down, then mom, how to cook this, how to cook that, whatever, you know. You'll get a phone call. Don't worry about it. Don't think they disappear. Then call. In the meanwhile, so my point is, no, sometimes we have to learn the other person's mind, not simply get upset. You know. I keep calling you, I keep leaving you, why aren't you calling back? It's not irresponsible and this and that. Not as how that doesn't really help. Everybody gets frustrated.
The other thing is also we have to model what we want. So I found, for example, we always say, you know, when they come, leave from home, when they reach there, go back home, they should text us back, and they don't always. What you have to do is, you should, every time you go somewhere and come back, you should text and tell them that you reached safely. So you're modeling that behavior, and then they will do the same thing. I mean, that's what worked for me anyway. When you're doing it, they're like, okay, then I'll let you know too.
Maybe it may work in some cases.
Not always.
I don't think all of that will.
Just one more in the arsenal.
I say, Mom, get a life, Mom.
That's also.
Get a life. Well, keep texting me all the time. Get a life.
Not all the time.
These are not all my language. This is all real time. They say like that. Get a life, Mom.
Is it true that the children are always born with opposite traits of parents?
That is called skipping a generation. Not really. Not really.
Like parent may be liking science, a kid will like something else.
No, you know, I think that probably has more to do with your cognitive abilities. You know, like I said, all of us, you know, if you look back in school years and all, everyone is not good at everything equally. We all have strengths and weaknesses. So even the smart fellows. So in a cognitive capacity, so you're never as good at math as you are in science, as you are in biology, and you know, in every subject, because they all require different kinds of cognitive skills. So everyone can't be good at everything. There are some who are good all-rounders, we say, but there are very few, you know. Your average person, you know, we are all average. Even though we think our kids should be all, but average means average. We are all average. Nothing wrong in being average. So for the average person, so we have strengths and we have weaknesses. So depending on our own strengths and weakness, things which I find easy come easy to me. Maybe I like that better. Things I find a little more difficult, I may avoid. Some of it is genetic. See, a lot of these capacities are very often they have a genetic component. So sometimes you find mom is a scientist, dad is a scientist, kid also becomes a scientist. I mean, you develop those kinds of cognitive skills. So it's not always true, but sometimes it may happen, either both the parents have the same kind of strengths either, It's all different. So sometimes it looks like the kids are so different from the parents. Siblings are different from each other. They're not all the same. So the kids are not necessarily similar to parents. They may be similar to grandparents sometimes. Skip a generation. Or some new trait may manifest. None of us were good in computers because they didn't exist. So what I'm saying is different skills are there. And sometimes what we like and dislike, it just purely dependent on what comes easy to us. Yeah. So, but then as a parent, I have to be aware of that. So I don't put too much pressure where it is not necessary. We can help kids enhance their skills and help them compensate for their deficits. If they are major deficits. Not every kid needs to be a good statistician, correct? I'm saying that because I was very poor in statistics. It's true. I just couldn't get it. Calculus, What is this calculus? I always had trouble with calculus. So what I'm saying is not everyone is destined to be a statistician. Neither is it necessary. But we can't say that just because they have a weakness, you let it go. That's not what I'm saying either. So if they have real deficits which is affecting, then we have to learn how to compensate for that. In different ways. And then if I have strengths, then I enhance my strengths. So as a parent, I shouldn't just put pressure on everything. And burst an artery because they do poorly in some subject. We shouldn't start panicking as if his whole life is going to suffer because he didn't get 100 marks. We put that kind of pressure on kids sometimes. You say the kids are all over the place. Why do they be all over the place? Because we want them to be good in music, we want them to learn piano. I don't understand where this piano comes from. I really, every home you go, there is a piano. Not that you have Mozarts in the Indian community. But for some reason, we all seem to love piano. All we knew was harmonium, which makes more sound than notes. But whatever, we think it is becoming Americanized. So to be Americanized means you have a dog and a piano. So
we can't say that either because there are some places you don't have an Indian community and you don't have exposure to music.
Yeah, but not every American has a piano in their home either.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying is, sure, a kid wants to learn piano, let them learn piano. But then piano is not what makes us American. So my point is, sometimes they run around because that is what we instill in them. So we want them to learn piano, we want them to do this, we want them to do that, we want them to do this. So then they also become hyper, and they are running around, and then we are running around after them. I have to drive him here, you drive. Whole life goes in driving around.
Yes, that's true.
Until you end up, till they are old enough, you buy them their car and
Or they leave.
yeah. But I don't think all kids don't do that. Neither is it necessary. They can do things which they like, they enjoy. Spend time on. It's not you don't want to be a jack of all trades. Pick some things you like and work on that. You want to change, you change. Try different things. But you don't have to do 15 things in order to feel like you're being productive.
I think some of it is driven by this college admissions process where they want to see an all-round.
An all-rounder, yeah.
Yeah, sports, community service. They do community service not because they're interested.
Community service, this our,
Just do it because it looks good on the resume, kind of.
yeah. So,
Hard to buck the trend, I guess, is what I'm saying.
no, so we fall into that,
Trap.
so the pressure, the peer
Yeah, the
pressure.
pressure.
Peer pressure is not only for the kids, it's also parents. Parents also give in to peer pressure. Other kids are doing that, and so my kid
Yeah,
is going to
exactly.
be, left behind.
And we don't know, we've not been through this system. I think the biggest problem for us, especially with the college process, is we haven't been through the system, so we don't exactly know what to expect of.
Yeah, but then again, so we have to also partly become part of the system,
Yeah.
like you were saying, so that we are confident a little bit more in encouraging them appropriately.
I have one question.
Yeah.
When does the major responsibility of a parent end or reduce?
Never.
I tell you, it's only when you decide to end it. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll be doing the laundry your whole life.
Don't do that.
It's it's a relationship. Really, it never ends.
Relationship.
You're a parent, you'll always be a parent till the day I am alive. And your child will always be your child. So, responsibility in the sense how much you feel that you have to do.
Do that.
We have different types of responsibilities, correct? Dharma, What is one's duty? This is a question, in other words. What is my duty as a parent? It's different from my duty as a grandparent, correct?
Oh, yes.
When you are a grandparent, you don't want to act like, you're not supposed to act like a parent. That's the whole point. Even your kid will tell you, don't, I'm the mom. You're not the mom. You're a grandparent. Do this, do that, do that. They tell you what to do. It's true, But which is true also. So you can't be the parent, you have to be the grandparent. So our roles, we have to be cognizant of our role. Remember I mentioned on the first day, in order to relate to a person properly, I need to know the whole person, correct? In order to be a good husband, I don't have to know my wife only as my wife. Really, that is a disaster, and it's not fair and it's not right. I have to know her as a daughter, as a mother, as a wife, as a friend, know her means who she is. Only when I know that whole person, then I can relate to her rightly as a wife. Otherwise, I know her as a wife, she's my wife. I don't want to know her as a daughter. So she talks to her mom and then I get all worked up. Correct? You're not, this is true. Why are you calling your house all the time? Don't you know how much it costs? Long distance. You know, remember a time when long distance used to be
Really?
$1.25 a minute?
Some of us do.
Some of us do. Really, $1.25 a minute when our salaries were very small.
Yeah.
Now, with much higher salaries is 2 cents a minute. So that's just, you can't argue that argument anymore.
We still have only 24 hours a day.
So what my point is, if I don't know her as a daughter, then I'm not relating to her properly as a wife. If I don't know her as a sister, so in order to know, to play one role properly, I have to know the whole person. So how do I relate as a daughter, as a father to my kids, as a parent? So I have to know the role of a person as a daughter, as a grandparent, then I know my dharma. I stay within my role, but I need to recognize. Let my child be a parent. I don't need to become a parent of the grandchild. Let them be the parent. Let them learn to be a parent because it's an opportunity for them to grow. Why I should not deprive them of that opportunity. So our role as a parent ends when my role as a grandparent takes over. You understand? So it's always a dynamic process. As we are ready to change and grow, we adapt to that. If we are rigid, then we get stuck. Then I'm trying to be a father to my child and my grandchild, and the whole thing becomes a mess. It becomes messy. It's a messy relationship. Everybody is upset at everybody. So I won't say relationship comes to an end. I think it evolves, it changes, it modifies. But that is how they continue.
My question was more about the responsibilities rather than the relationship.
The responsibility is what I take on. So the relationship, the role comes with certain responsibilities. You know. So there, everything like in anything else, it has to be in moderation and proportionate. You can't overdo anything, any role. So responsibility as a grandparent depends on what is called for, what the situation is, how much I can do, how much capacity I have. You know, there won't be a constant thing. It will be changing also. Depends on one's capacity. Depends on the situation. How serious it is, or not. So that's how we respond. You know. It should also be realistic. You can't, you know, some of those thinking that we have culturally, we go overboard. Yes. I want to create an endowment for 7 generations. So that nobody works, never becomes responsible, and blows it all up. Half of them drink it away, the other half gamble it away. That's my legacy. But I tell you, sometimes we get carried away. Here they don't do that sometimes, Mature people don't do that. They will not do that. Even Bill Gates and all, majority, who was that fellow? Tim Cook, right? I need to keep enough money for this one nephew or somebody to see through college. Everything else, distribute and go. Can you imagine an Indian thinking like that? I can't. Because that is we conditioned like that. We don't have that kind of responsibility. Because we are not helping, we are hindering. don't help a person like that. We prevent them from becoming responsible and growing and all that. So our responsibility, shouldn't extend in that. That is misdirected. Certainly, we have to let them grow. Imagine how much we would have grown if we are still not where we are now. If we had not had this opportunity to have some independence and make decisions and things like that, and always had somebody breathing down our neck telling us what to do, how much would we have grown or changed? So we can't do that to somebody also. What is the definition of a good parent? This must be a scientist or a statistician. What is the definition of a good parent? I don't know. There is no definition. There is no good parent, there is no bad parent. There is a parent. Everybody, I can't say a good parent is somebody who doesn't make mistakes. Because making mistakes is not what makes you bad. Making mistakes is the only way to learn what's the right thing. Because all learning is, trial and error. Trial and error. Good parent, bad parent doesn't have to do with what your kid tells you. The kid always tells you you're a bad parent. If you don't give me what I want. Hey, we want to be a good parent, so we give whatever they want. That's not a good parent. Good parent is one who is open, who is willing to grow, who is willing to learn, who is willing to change and do the best they can do. Seek help when they need help. I had an idea. The temple, it's a very good thing to do in a community, is to have a parenting group, support group. Really, think about this. That meets once a month. Temple is there, place is there. Parents can just get together and talk about things, share what's going on, share ideas, sometimes get some education. There are different things that go on, different topics, invite some speakers occasionally. Have a nice monthly meeting that means it's a parent support group where parents come together. Kids come, you get together for the sake of your children, right? With each other. Not that everybody loves each other so much. Well, you get together because kids need each other. So the parents get together. As long as we make food, parents are okay. They come, they have their lunch, kids are together, everything is okay, they go. We do that. So there's a group that meets every month. The friends, everyone become friends, they support each other, they share their experiences and they learn. It's very good, people in America, they do for everything like this. They are very, very powerful groups. It doesn't mean that you have to have a problem. But we all need support. I was telling somebody, there is a group in California. The society is called as the Mendicant Society. You know what's a mendicant? A mendicant is a loner who goes away from society. Wants to have nothing to do with society. He's like a hobo. Nothing to do with society. He goes away like a sannyasi, like sadhu. Doesn't care. He lives in the forest somewhere. He's a mendicant. So all the mendicants decided to get together. Ran away from society.
So the model is still small.
And from a society. This is true, I'm not making this up. So this group meets once a month. All these medical fellows come together. It's called the you can Google it and see. It's called the Medical Society. Even they need a support group. So, I think seriously, Babuji, you should consider this. As you start the preschool,
Yes,
you start a monthly support group for parents.
okay.
This is support, it meets together. Doesn't matter, whoever comes once a month.
Sure.
Have some coffee or whatever.
How to handle temper tantrums.
So anything, sharing experiences. Sharing experiences and ideas. Sometimes invite some people who have some that kind of a background,
Yes.
in education, in sociology, things like that. So you can gather some, be informed. It's a very good thing to do. It's a very simple thing to do here.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
so anyway, so that's good. So good parent is a open-minded person who wants to grow as a parent. Really, that's all I think I would say. But it's not what you do; it is how you do it. What is a measure? This is why I said maybe he's a statistician. What is a measurable statistic of a successful parenting?
Statistics.
Measurable. This is to do with how am I as a parent, correct?
Yeah.
Because whatever you do, you'll never feel good enough. Yeah, it's true.
Always wonder.
Whatever you do, you'll never feel good enough. We always wonder, as a parent, could I have done something different? What happened to him? What did I do? Where did I go wrong? What did I not do? That is all part of our own reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So, it is not really, it doesn't have to do with that. It is not that one is a bad parent. We make misjudgments. But that's what life is about, making errors. Only then you learn what is right. What else to do? It's all a game of chance, no? So, good parenting is when you feel fulfilled, success. How is it? What makes me successful as a person? When I feel I'm successful. What makes me feel like a good parent? When I see my child being a good parent. I don't know what else to say. I can say some nice things, which catch some catchy sentences. But it's true. If my kid is a good parent, when they become a parent, that means I must have been a good parent, right?
I think that's a good one. That's a good answer.
Yeah. There's no other measurement, yardstick. If my kid is messing up as a parent, then I can ask, what happened? Where did he learn this from? Then you can have it must be your side of the family. So all that is. But otherwise, okay, I think we can stop. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru